Alright, dudes. I'm finally back to possibly kick some tail. Be more tail to kick once Wave 6 has arrived. And, yeah, just excuse any background noise. Just gonna be real here, yeah. Just think out loud more than anything. It's just me. But it just feels like every fucker in my immediate vicinity has to be a dog owner. But yeah, it's like when Reaper says or said, if he doesn't say it anymore. I know he said it in Overwatch 1 anyway. When he says, "This is my curse." I think I'll just say trigger warning just before I say it. Yeah. If you're a fellow Scorpio, yeah, probably don't listen for the next few seconds. But yeah, I feel like all Scorpios are cursed in some way. It's like bad luck is toxic landfill, and it has to get dumped somewhere. Yeah, it's like fate's just like, well, sorry, Scorpios. Yes, somebody's got to draw the short straw. Guess it's got to be you. Yeah, hence the vengefulness we're known for. It's like why us? Why couldn't you pick some other side that wouldn't go all edgelord and punish you for your transgression? Even if it's just a punishment by way of Das Boot to the face. Roundhouse. So, yeah, it's been a while, so that's why I'm on this screen. Apologies for the break. I just needed to take it. One, because of what happened last stream, and I didn't want to give that chance to happen again anytime soon. And two, mental and physical health has been getting ravaged by an ongoing scenario that shouldn't be ongoing, but is because freaks just won't stop being incompetent. Yeah, just failing to do their job. Like this shit's been happening since. Well, that's a bad way of putting it. It's not been happening. It's continued. Yeah, it's like been drawn out since the 1st of September. It's supposed to end right after that, but it still hasn't been resolved yet. There's been something broken that needs fixing. Alright, yeah. I won't go into too much detail, but it's something I've been using for a long time. It just wouldn't work anymore. Like something it's supposed to work in tandem with just decided to not cooperate and just rejected it, and I'm like, shit, I guess I need a new one then. Really want to silence that pulverization is all that will I have to hold back. The stupid fucking law gets in the way, protects undeserving fuckers. Like, I'm the protector, the main protector, and the best protector in existence. If I don't want to protect something, nothing else should want to either. yeah, you're wondering why the short temper. If you had the life I've had so far, you get it. There's no other way. You don't tolerate maltreatment that severe for that long. You don't tolerate. You just give it back, and then everything tries to guilt trip you and says, "Oh, stop being a revenge lord and shit. Oh, stop being so whatever. Reflect the maltreatment. Oh, don't stoop to our level." I'm like, sure I will. You had no shame in subjecting me to that in the first place. So, yeah, all you shameless fuckers are just hypocrites. Oh, hypocrisy will be dealt with accordingly. The embodiment of wisdom that I am. I might not always do the right thing to do, but I always do it in the best way. So I'm so used to getting copied. People see the way I do any given action and they're like, oh shit, okay, I'm not going to do it my way anymore. I'm going to do it his way. This, like how much mileage and value and stuff is getting out of it. I'm going to do it that way. And then everybody starts copying my way of doing it. I'm like, oh, why am I not surprised? It's just an echo of like getting asked to work something out in maths at school and stuff. Because I was like the only one who wouldn't get stumped by a certain equation or problem or something. So even the next smartest guy in the class after me would be just coming to me for answers like, dude, how'd you work it out? And I'm like, oh, I could just be a dick and be like, no, I'm not telling you, and just leave you in sort of the ignorance that you're still mired in. But no, I'm just gonna be pleasant and be like, okay, you want to know how I did it? Here's how. I'm not the teacher, but well, I may as well be the teacher Mark too. But yeah, I know my yeah, well, it's a bit of a veering off course here of a subject, but yeah, I know my reactions are a bit too like real and kind of appalling and stuff. But that's just you know, it's a reflection of what I get subjected to, like anyone's reactions are. So if people's reactions are like loud and strong and things like that, yeah, and easily sort of brought to the attention of others, then yeah, that's probably because what they're being subjected to is that as well. So, in astrological terms, because that sort of thing is like a fun activity for me and stuff. Yeah, knowing what all the things mean, it's kind of like a language. That's the way I see it anyway. Not what I class it as, just the way I sort of interact with it. Yeah, like I'd interact with a game. Yeah, in astrological terms, it'd be a moon sign. Yeah, I'm an Aquarius moon, so yeah, my reactions are like not good for kids, basically. Yeah, not really suitable for them because they're like too real and yeah, they're more on the side of work and stuff like that and serious things like actions and stuff that needs doing regardless of who it gets done by, as opposed to the opposite end of the spectrum, which is like things like play and acting and stuff that a person wants to do because of who they are, regardless of whether it needs doing or not. I guess I'm never gonna know how that feels to be that. I think somebody I am classing as a candidate. I won't say of what. But somebody seems to be my opposite in that regard. Yeah, a Leo moon, which is kind of interesting. Um, I'm just yeah trying to see the patterns. I only subscribe to anything like that you could, dare I say it, call as like the equivalent of a religion, like astrology, if it agrees with its opposite. Because what's the opposite of religion? Science. If it agrees with the science. Yeah, if the opposite things agree with each other, then I subscribe to it because that equals continuity, as in it's something that's continuous. It's like a transferable skill, like say something that applies to both a real life fight and a video game fight. Yeah, those are the things that I try and hone the most, like timing and spacing and observance and reaction times and stuff like that. Yeah, patience and wisdom. Yeah. So the continuity equals truth, and like one thing that's intrinsically linked to continuity is patterns. So I'm always trying to recognize them. So yeah, when the science and religion agree with each other, I'm like, yeah, this is probably just the way reality works. So I subscribe to it, and yeah. Aquarius is easily disappointed by the brat that it's met with and everything else. And yeah, because well, they probably wouldn't like me saying that about them on stream, but a certain very two influential people in my life, I'm sure you can guess. Um, Hell, they're right there on the screen. Or the me character versions of them, anyway. Yeah, they're like basically overgrown brats. Yeah, like child soul and adult body and stuff, just with enough tact and skill and everything to kind of like switch faces and stuff, like a coin, like heads and tails and stuff, and be like more act more their age when it's to do work and get shit done and win the bread and stuff like that and be professional. And then they come back home and then they're just a child throwing a temper tantrum. Kind of sad, really. And in this really insidious sort of way, they expect you to forgive them for the bad things they do because of the some of the time they also do good things, and that's like a criminal who's just, well, trigger warning here because it's a bit, extreme, but yeah, this content, just as a reminder, it's aimed at mature audiences anyway, so it's like a criminal who's just murdered somebody being like, hey, the law and the justice system and stuff, the police and any judges that are being like the arbiter of my fate, can you just let me get away with that murder I just committed, because like I also saved someone's life, or I don't know, healed them in some way, or something like that, or sort of gave money to charity, I don't know. Can you forgive me for the bad thing I did because of the good thing that I did? No, still getting thrown in jail. Yeah, oh well, I tried. It's as pathetic as that would be, and yeah, the sad thing is, because it was like a private sort of familial, like domestic sort of thing, they just got away with it infallibly, and I'm the only one that suffers the consequences. Yeah, any repercussions, any lasting effects, what they did, yeah. And I just keep very sort of pointlessly, I'll admit, waiting for them to try and redeem themselves in some way. Right, best way right now would just be help me get my feet off the ground, and one of them to stop betraying me and acting like they're gonna help me, and then they stab me in the back, like right when I need them to not do that, and then the other just point blank refuses to help because, I don't know, they don't really like how I class them as the reason, not the only, but kind of the main reason I need help in the first place. Getting the content creation thing going, I mean, yeah, because I can't keep using this setup of like using my phone to film the TV script. Okay, it can't go on like that forever. So I'm like, I need a new computer because my laptop, which isn't really working and stuff, it's not dead, but it's what I call in a coma, because I was an idiot at one point and I did something very stupid that kind of put it in that coma that Just made me regret everything right after I'd done it. I guess that was just a learning experience of like that's not something you're supposed to do. Like you're not supposed to do like system restore right after it's done a check disk sort of whatever it was. So it's in a coma. I can't even use it. But even if I could, yeah, even if I hadn't have been that stupid, I wouldn't be able to use it to stream because I've actually tried that. Yeah, before I accidentally put it in a coma, I tried using it to stream with OBS and everything, and it was just terrible because it's that older model. I got it myself for my 17th birthday near the end of 2010. Yeah, it's so archaic and outdated a sort of like operating system and stuff that yeah, streaming just is not really feasible with that thing. So I need a new computer. They're not cheap. Even ones that you just only use them for streaming, nothing else. Because if you're using it for gaming, it'll probably like double, triple, maybe even quadruple the price. It'll be like 2 grand instead of like 500 quid. But if you're only going to be using it for streaming, it should be around like 500 in the price range. And I'm like, hey, come on, it's not that much. You please invest in somebody who has that sort of relation to you and stuff. Because usually, if you create something, you want to see it thrive and live its best life and stuff. And you're gonna like, I'll just use an analogy, a darkly poetic one, really. Yeah, like a plant is not gonna trust an owner that doesn't water it. It's that simple. I'm like, hey, come on, because all I've ever needed but have never received is support. Can someone, anyone, just support me? Because I'm trying to serve you here. I don't need to do this. I'm not legally required to do it. I'm not required to. Well, I know it's bit personal of a detail, but I mean, you might have worked it out anyway if you're smart enough. As like, if I have mental illness that literally makes me like unable to do most, if not all, jobs, and I'm still trying to do a job anyway. As if you guys deserve the service, mainly because you're so unsupportive and stuff. But like, if you were more supportive, you deserve it more. But people think I'm like them, and that the only reason I'm doing it is to increase the size of my wallet and stuff, so I can live a happier life because I've kind of all but been denied it and cheated out of it by having mental illness beaten into my brain. So people are like, "Oh, you're lazy. That's why you're not working," and I'm like, "No, I'm skint as a result of being purged of the ability to work and stuff. I don't get to buy myself all those nice things that you do. You're well off because you've been left with the ability to work. Nothing beat it out of you. You're the lucky fuck here and stuff. So don't act like you're just this martyr or saint or whatever. The work ethic. I'm the one who admittedly hates doing work. Yes, I'll put my hands up and just accept that. Yeah, I hate doing work because it bores the crap out of me. But when I do it, I do an awesome job because I've got a physical condition that's shaped in a way that, yeah, it makes things that factor into a lot of jobs like repetition and precision and skill and technique and stuff like that. It makes it incredibly easy to do those things. Yeah, you can say picture like, say if you're working in a kitchen as a chef or something like that, or sort of making the finished product, yeah, the dish you're gonna give to the waiter that he's gonna serve to the customer. You're making it like look absolutely like sort of like picture perfect and everything. Yeah, things like that come naturally to me. So me being that good at doing jobs like that should make me like to do them, but it doesn't. So I would like to do a job, and yes, it should by all rights get me money. One, because of how well I do it, and two, because I bring a sort of style of it to the table that like nobody else does. or well, very few others have that combination because it's like a spectrum with content creation. It's like this entertaining and intelligent. Yeah, I mean, watching people play Sonic Frontiers DLC recently has reminded me about that. Yeah, I know it might be a bit like ego bruising. Apologies to anyone. Of course, I'm not going to name names. I'm yeah, I'm not going to do that because I know they resent the hell out of me for it and stuff. It's like, hey, you're calling me dumb. Like, well, if you weren't dumb, I wouldn't really be able to call you it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, one end of the spectrum is entertaining, the other is intelligent, and it's people over the entire spectrum, so they're balancing both. They're the most valuable, if not invaluable, content creators. My favorite content creator has got that. He's sort of good enough at being entertaining to hold a quite sizable audience, and yeah, it's like well earned and stuff like that amount of attention. But that he doesn't let that make him a dumbass and stuff. Like he's smart enough to know like the ins and outs of like what how like stream quality should be and stuff, and what techniques they should use to sort of perform well. And well, when I say perform well, I mean a literal performance, like a show, and keep people enticed and keep them entertained and stuff like that. And advice that you should give people and stuff if they want to know, oh, how do you do this, how do you do that. And yeah, if you do the whole flip side thing, if you look from like the intelligence side, yeah, he doesn't make that, or he doesn't let that make him fail to be entertaining. Because when you see people absolutely crushing a game and they know all the ins and outs and stuff, so there's no knowledge check required for them. Like they already know all about the game and stuff, and they can breeze through it like nobody's business. But they're just, it's like it'd be more entertaining to watch paint dry. See, then you've got that end of the spectrum. But yeah, it's just yeah, me and my two favorite content creators. Well, like my favorite male and favorite female. And yeah, it's kind of yin and yang. Yeah, they both got a very high combination of the two, of entertaining and intelligent. But yeah, I think the male one's more on the entertaining side, and the female one's more on the intelligent side. Which is to be expected because there's not much of her, and when you haven't got that much physical mass, so you don't take up that much space, it's like your mind and stuff, and it's kind of like all you have really, to put it bluntly. So you got to fall back on. And then yeah, the opposite of that would be probably be like a man that's sort of like Bob, as in the Omnic in Overwatch, is like ton of muscle, like very good at winning fights and just stubbornly getting shit done, refusing to be stopped. But he's thick as two planks of wood, or should I say two sheets of metal, because he's literally made of metal. So yeah, I naturally have that balance, so the both those ends of the spectrum and everything in between. So I know my sheer value and stuff and why it should be supported. It's just difficult to get the point across and stuff. It's more than just making people know, it's making them understand, so that even when they see the thing, because knowledge is basically equivalent to the sense that is vision. Yeah, when they see the thing, I'd like them to also know what they're looking at, because seeing something and not understanding what it is that you're seeing is equivalent to seeing nothing. It's like it's invisible to you, or you're blind. So yeah, I want to open everybody's eyes, give them a vision that they don't have already, or give it them back if they've had it and since lost it. Because everybody deserves to see the truth. It's especially nice to see what's real when it causes you joy. It's like a granted wish. When you think it's too good to be true, and then you realise it isn't to be true, but it is too good, and it is real, then That's what life's all about. The joy you get caused by that. That's what I want to bring to people. It's like, yes, I am too good, but not to be true. So, um, once people know what to expect and they come to my content and stuff, yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to tolerate all the bullshit in the background and just to stick at it, really, yeah. Because if it's like final stretch, if you give up at that point, then it's like, what was the point of you doing every bit before the final stretch? Yeah, that's exactly how I felt when I got to thingy. I'll give a spoiler warning right now because it's going to get really spoilery. Because I am going to give a review of the Final Horizon for Sonic Frontiers. That's why I've got it on the screen now. I wanted to include that in this stream because I beat it sort of after the previous stream, but before this one. Because yeah, I took that like two weekish break. And I think it was on normal because I just realised after I tweeted that I'd beaten it. Yeah, people are going to be just inevitably just assume, oh, you put it on easy, didn't you? You had to put it on easy to beat it. I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't put it on hard either because I'm like, I'm not going to beat that and it's going to fucking push me over the edge probably because normal almost did that, but yeah, I just left it on normal. That's what it was already on from the base game, and I just left it on that for the DLC. But yeah, when I got to Master King Coco's trial, I was like, the fuck is this? And then yeah, what became apparent, and especially after I beat it and then started watching other people play it, because of course I only watch other people's playthroughs after I've beaten it myself, because then nothing can be a spoiler for me. It's just common sense. So what yeah became blatantly apparent is it's literally all about the knowledge check. Yeah, it's like if you know what to do against the things, then you can absolutely obliterate them. But they only do that to you if you have no idea what to meet them with. But once you realise it's basically just little combo stomp, cross slash, and then whatever. Most likely Wilder stuck in the golden tornado from you're doing Psyloop on them. I think you do a normal Psyloop to Giganto at first, and then after that, like once you've built up the meter, you can do a quick Psyloop to him. But yeah, I had no idea about that. I don't think I did that at all in the base game. I literally had no clue. I didn't even know Sonic could Psyloop, let alone quick Psyloop. In like when he's Supersonic, yeah, so the boss fights, yeah. Yeah, I should have just guessed. It's kind of embarrassing, really, yeah, because it's you know, some I kind of pride myself on being able to work stuff out, like sort of on the fly and stuff. Yeah, like in especially in a crisis situation where I need to sort of work something out to get past an obstacle. And yeah, I don't know how I didn't just cotton on to how he's got the same skill set when he's supersonic as he does when he's normal Sonic, but just it's like augmented and stuff. Mainly by the fact that he can fly. So yeah, the whole Psyloop thing. I think I'm not sure about Knight, but I know Giganto. Yeah, I remember he takes a swipe at you eventually. I don't think he does it the first time. It might be either just because it's phase two, and or because you put him in the tornado with a quick Psyloop. But yeah, as soon as you stick him in that, he just like swivels around and just like does like a sort of underhand swipe at you, and you parry that, and then nothing like it stuns him, and then you can like wail on him, yeah. Beat his ass. So and then he's all like, and then you hit him once with a normal attack, and then it does the cutscene finish with the pierce. Oh god, I would say that. Oh, trying to remember it. Is it Gonryo Maru? I think it is. The name of Chojiro's Zanpakuto in Bleach. Yeah, he's at the beginning of the story, not the timeline, but the story. He's. I don't think I'll go into Bleach spoilers, but yeah, I think in the beginning of the story, he's still a lieutenant of Squad 1. So yeah, and I think it's the release command is Pierce. I think his weapon is called Gonryo Maru. I forgot what it means in English, but it's a lightning type. So yeah, it's like piercing lightning bolt sort of thing, and the blade itself, I think, is got like a European style to it. It's like a rapier. As I think Chojiro himself is kind of like, yeah, has taken a liking to like European culture and architecture and stuff. Yeah, so it basically he's Japanese, but he may as well be French or British or something like that. So, yeah, and that brings me around to something I kind of realized about the bosses. And yeah, it kind of well, it's only became really noticeable when I had to fight them that often to beat that trial. And I thought, you know what? I think there's a trend here. Yeah, I think it's most apparent in Sifu and its elemental bosses. In Sifu, it's Chinese sort of spirituality, if you will. So it's five elements, like three of which are in Western spirituality, and the other two are not. So I think you got like water, fire, earth, wood, and metal. So there's like one boss for each in Sifu, but they aren't actually sort of alluded to an element by the game in Frontiers. It's just I've just sort of noticed, yeah, because there's four, including Supreme. There's four, and it's like there's one element for each. And I think if I had to guess anyway, yeah, from what I know about the spirit and stuff and the way it works with the elements, I think Giganto would be Earth, Wyvern would be air, Knight would be fire, and Supreme would be water. And you can tell from the animals, the trials as well. Dragon's trial, that's Knight, because of the fire element, yeah. So in zodiac sign terms, that would be Aries, because that's literally the equivalent of the dragon. Aries is the warrior. The knight has a sword and a shield, like a typical warrior does. Because Aries is made of like Cancer and Capricorn. So like Cancer is the shield and Capricorn's the sword. So Aries is both. Yeah. And Libra's neither because it's a pacifist. I think. Oh, what are the other? Snake is next. Yeah, Snake. Snake. The second one. Oh my god. It pissed me off so much, did that, because it's the Patience Tower. I know I'm not the only one who's called it that, but snakes are all about patience, so yeah, that's why so much of it is required with that second tower. Yeah, that's the Earth one. Yeah, it's all about like precision and basically being mechanical of spirit and not letting yourself be too reactionary or sensitive. That's how you deal with something like that. And the trial is basically just a chore. It's not even really a battle. It's just a chore because it feels like you're working because of the repetition and stuff, the repetitive nature of it. Yeah, the way I ended up doing it, there's even more optimal ways to do it than the following. But the way I did it was, I just wailed on each one of the four thingies, the critters or whatever they are. Let it throw the sort of circular saw thing, the spiky sort of armor, I'll call it. Yeah, I let it throw this spiky armor at me. And then I just homing attacked at it, and then just yeah, combo, and then when the thing came back, the spiky armor, I just parry it and then repeat, yeah, parry, and then like combo, and then parry, and until the thing's dead, and then just do that again for the remaining three, and then that was it. As long as it took me less than 30 seconds for each one, then yeah, because you get 2 minutes to do the entire thing. Yeah, so that's the Earth one. Is Snake because it's Western equivalent is Taurus. That's an Earth sign. Last time I checked. So and then you've got the third one, which is the easiest tower, by quite a long way actually. And at the top of that is Tiger's Trial, which is also the easiest trial as well. And that's Wyvern, because the equivalent of the tiger is Aquarius. It's an air sign. You know, Wyvern is the air element boss because it's the flying one. It's that simple. Although what could make it a bit confusing is what comes next. Yeah, the fourth one, which has got a lot of fans. Yeah, it's the fans and grind rails. Yeah, is the fourth tower. At the top of that, you got a Crane's Trial. That would be water. Yeah, because although the crane isn't the equivalent of any of the 12 signs, the only one that's around the other three, like Aquarius, Aries, Taurus, the water in that group of four is of course Pisces. So if it wasn't crane, it would be rabbit because the rabbit is the equivalent of Pisces. But they've just decided to make it crane instead. Right. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, but yeah, they just decided on that. So it's yeah. I was thinking it was all four of them were going to be like the Chinese zodiac animals, but yeah, crane isn't one, but it is like a martial arts animal. Yeah, all that does apply to all four of them. Yeah, if any of you seen Kung Fu Panda stuff. Oh, it's been so long since I saw any of them. Like, I think I've seen all three, the original trilogy, at least twice. I might have only seen the third one once, but you know. I think, yeah. So Crane would be water, and Supreme as well. Doesn't really fly, so it's not like Wyvern, but it floats, which makes me think Sigma from Overwatch, who is a Pisces, funnily enough. Yeah, it's the whole no grip thing. Yeah, you get from floating as well, because Earth is the element of grip. So if water's the opposite of Earth, it's gonna have no grip. Like mainly no grip on reality. I think the whole delusion and escapism thing. It's like you've even just mentally just been forced into another dimension, and then you're still somehow able to access this one physically from there. Ugh. But yeah, I won't go into that. It's a bit too deep and heavy for right now. But yeah, when Supreme sort of gets off the ground, yeah, it looks heavy as hell. Obviously, it is a Titan after all, but you get the feeling that it's the lightest weight one. Yeah, just because of when it generates the red energy wings for phase two, and it just very daintily, because water is the most feminine element as well. It kind of daintily just like lifts off the ground, and yeah, and it lets other things attack you for it as well and get in the way of you to sort of wall you out and everything. But Earth would wall you out using itself and would attack you using itself as well, like just physical attacks. Yeah, it's almost like Pokemon. Yeah, water's more like a psychic type that would use other things to destroy you, like energy attacks or telekinesis to throw an object into you. But Earth's more like a fighting type or something, yeah, that would attack you using its own body and defend itself using its own body as well. Which Giganto does, yeah, because Giganto's like the Earth one, yeah. It's like takes all those swipes at you and stuff, yeah, and blasts you with a hype beam and everything. Yes. Apologies again for the background noises. Fucking neighbours just won't stop. Sort of, yeah, it's like they just refuse to just stay the fuck in their flat and everything. Like everybody else is that considerate, but just that particular neighbour just too social for their own good. But yeah, the elemental thing I noticed was kind of cool, and I think we might be seeing it even more, like again in the future. And hell, I even likened the Sonic games as they are, like each one in its entirety, just a few of them, not all of them, because there's only 6 of. Well, I'm getting to that. Yeah, the Infinity Stones. Yeah, I think going backwards from the most recent Sonic game. Yeah, I think Frontiers would. Yeah, you guessed it, space. Because it's all about travel and everything, yeah. Like crossing the line from one area to another, yeah, it's just very, yeah, it's very Space Stone. Not least because Frontiers is the game where Sage debuted, and I think she's been called that because of her channeling the Sagittarius spirit, yeah. I had to guess as to why she was called Sage, yeah, it's probably because of that. Always on the other side of the invisible barrier, just observing, never being allowed to. Oh god, it's getting into Ulquiorra territory now. That'd be too depressing. So I'll just leave that one alone. So what came before Frontiers? Forces. Forces would be reality. I think mainly because of Infinite. So we've got space, reality. So there's 4 left. Lost World, I think would be Soul because of the different gregarious personalities of the Deadly Six and stuff. So yeah, I think Lost World will be Soulstone. There's 3 left. Colors would be Power Stone because, well, color power. I've got Time and Mind left. I think Time's my favourite and Mind's my least favourite. I think. Oh yeah, I forgot one. Like, because I know it's more recent than Colors, and yeah, I was going in reverse order and stuff. Yeah, going back in time. Generations. Yeah. Speaking of time, yeah, well, it would be that stone. Yeah, the green one. I think mainly because of the Time Eater. I haven't played it. Yeah, so just as a disclaimer, yeah, I haven't played Generations, but I know enough about it. So that just leaves Mind, and I think that would probably be Unleashed because it's just Sonic himself and like the different versions of him and stuff. Yeah, like day and night sort of thing. Yeah, so it's like when each version of him takes its turn, it's like the other one sort of retreats into his mind, sort of thing. That's kind of Piscean as well, yeah. makes me think characters like the aforementioned Sigma and stuff. Now there's like the dark, sinister version of him on the outside, and then the innocent sort of old man that's like release me sort of thing on the inside that is all but imperceptible. But you're reminded that that's the way it is by that spray called Sigma's Apple. And another character that's like that as well, Aegis, I think they call her or them in Smash. Yeah, so Pyra Mythra. Yeah, so whichever one is taking the reins of the physical space that the body occupies. It's like the other one is the other one's mind is sort of occupying the same space as the mind of whoever's body is on the outside. So yeah, Mind Stone. I think they'll probably be unleashed. Apparently, I think it's unleashed. Has a part of it that is, at least in some people's opinion, egregiously difficult. I think it's called Eggman Land, and I'm guessing that it's because you have to do it when you're in werehog form. But after what I what I just did with the Final Horizon, yeah, I found it cute as hell with Amy and like the waifu and stuff. It was cool seeing that the skill set for each character and the color code of the skill set and the little bits of terrain and the map and stuff. Yeah, that was neat. I still kind of think Amy and Tails sound too similar. Like even for me, I mean, I'm a musician and my eyesight is terrible, so I have like superhuman hearing, and even I class them as like sounding too similar. Like it's just difficult. It's possible, but it's still difficult to pick up on the differences between the voices. Just too similar. I'm pretty sure they didn't sound that similar in SA2. Which is the game that has the set of voice actors that is my favourite set and stuff for that group of characters. And another thing that I've been reminded of in terms of the characters is Knuckles, but it's a visual thing. Yeah, like I think a while ago, yeah, like sort of retro times and stuff, or semi-retro, yeah. But when it was like already 3D by then. For his muzzle, they went for like a darker sort of like murky brown sort of shade, or almost giving him like a Hispanic look or something, or mixed like me. And then recently they've just changed it, and it's like pale peach sort of thing. So it's got more of a white guy look to him, which makes sense because of the voice, the behavior, and just the overall color. Yeah, it's because it's yeah. Main color's red. It's like, yeah, so you can just tell with one glance at him. Yeah, main color red. As tends to be the deal with Sonic characters, you can see the main color just sort of at a glance. And yeah, because it's a hot color that's closer to white, it's like the cold colors are closer to black. Yeah. Ugh. Reminds me of what I was saying before in the Overwatch stream about beauty and power. Yeah, there was something I forgot to mention, and that the whole eugenics thing, we should be out to create a new generation that is both. Yeah, it has the highest combination of both. The all beauty, no power of a light-skinned person, and the all power and no beauty of a dark-skinned person. Because if you have a neutral skinned person, as in its colour is as light as it is dark, so it's like the sort of absolute medium skin tone, you have the highest combination of beauty and power. It's dangerous. am well aware it is dangerous to say certain things, like there are certain futures, for example, we should usher ourselves into, and certain things we should make the case like unanimously, certain things we should delete, certain things we should make extinct, like permanent transformations we should make. I know it is risky to say all that stuff, but I'm just trying to help. I feel like Kane. That must have been how he felt. Or Gil, even. Yeah, Kane's a SNK character, yeah, he was in Garou. And Gil is from Street Fighter. I think he first came along in Street Fighter 3. And yeah, it's the whole I am genuinely trying to help you thing, but because you're so set in your ways, you don't want to be collectively brought into a life that's just better for you all and stuff, because you don't want to adapt, you don't want to improve, and just stubbornly just, I don't know, just digging your heels in and just being like, oh, this is what we're familiar with, this is what causes us courage, this is what we know, so we just want to keep going with this, even though it's considerably worse than this new thing that that you're what's the word? Pioneering. Progress will be made. It must be made. All of society, all 8 billion of us, this one collective we all form, must be made a better and eventually the best version of itself possible. You just need those with the vision to see it, to know what that best version of us is, to be able to back it up with concrete evidence and say how and why that's the version of us that we should be, and then how we get there, yeah, the means to that end. What power we use to reach that goal and how we use it. It's always possible. There's always a way to reach that most evolved form. Yeah, you don't do it by leveling up. Use a moonstone. Or a thunderstone if you're an electric type. So, yeah, there are things we should all be. I know there's always going to be people, and they are right, technically, just as much as you say that fun is sort of appreciated by people, even if it's not necessary. I think mainly because it's good for your mental health. That's why I'm passionate about it, personally. Because I need stuff that's good for my mental health, because that's, to put it bluntly, it makes me not require like medication that would mess with my biology and everything. So I'm like, as long as I can do a sort of equivalent to self-medicating with things that are good for my mental health, like fun, this, of course. I don't just mean streaming. I mean, streaming's sort of fun, but I mainly mean gaming. Then yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I feel like there's even though they're right when they say it is our differences that make us great and they should be celebrated. Objectively speaking, there is no need for them, and we would be more practical and functional if we just got rid of those differences and made ourselves the same one thing. Not in every regard, but just in some. Language is one of them. There's literally no need for the language barrier to exist. So just get rid of it, just dissolve it. There's already one and only one universal language. I'm speaking it, the English. If we all spoke that, that'd be it. All the time and energy and whatever other resources are spent on translation could be saved instead. It's worth saving. Yes, I know, sadly, translators would be out of a job. I'm sure there's another job they could find and get. Just like when I always say about flies, they're the most annoying fucking piss take creature in existence and should be made extinct because they're unnecessary, mainly by way of being meaningless. As in, they don't mean anything to any other entity besides themselves. And then if people are like, oh, what about the food chain? Oh, spiders that have nothing to eat. I'm like, yeah, they would. It's not like they only eat flies. If flies went extinct, spiders would not be screwed. Nature is serious. Nature is already as serious as we should be. I don't know why the whole 2 extra layers of consciousness thing is sort of made it more difficult for us to be serious and easier for us to be a joke. But yeah, it's like those layers of consciousness get in the way or something. I would like to think otherwise, but evidence suggests that, yeah, that's how it is. Fucking things get in the way, and just they don't get in the way for animals though. So animals are just like, oh, I'm required to adapt on the fly, am I? Because, well, pun not really intended. As flies are suddenly extinct, I'm required to just find some other main food source. Okay, I'll do that, and then that's it. They don't just let themselves get sort of, I don't know, erased as if they never existed to begin with just by circumstance. No, they're more serious than that. I think we should take a leaf out of the book. I'm not saying we should copy animals. And some people, yes, I can think of one very particular person that would say lower ourselves to the level of animals. Technically, we're just as much animals as they are, or we're just smarter. That's it. And it's only because we have those 2 more layers of consciousness. We have 3. They have 1. They only have id, but we have id, superego, and ego. This means we're capable of more. Our minds have more depth to them. So, I think, yeah. But that doesn't mean we have to try and make ourselves the polar opposite of what animals are. If they, I don't know, they do something that is just optimal for anything to do, like adapt or just agree with each other. So if all the members of a certain species, for example, agree with each other on the best thing to do, they may fight sometimes, especially some critters at this time of year, like squirrels, trying to make a horde of nuts so they can survive the harsh winter and stuff. Yeah, the critters may like get into like hilarious wars and little like fisticuffs and stuff about hey that I got that bit of food, that's mine, or why'd you steal it, and stuff. And you see in the wildlife programs, or the scrapping for the food and everything. Oh god, some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. But yeah, they even though they may fight over what they're trying to do, they are all trying to do the same thing because they know that's how you survive. So yeah, it's that programming that even if we have not been programmed like that by something else, we can still use our own personal power to program ourselves, each one of us, to program ourselves that way, so as to still be the height of serious. And we're all doing the same thing. We're not copying each other, it's just we've all chosen that most optimal path to walk. Yeah, we're just walking on it with each other. It's not anyone's path and stuff. It's not born of their soul like a Zanpakuto in Bleach. No, it's just a path that's there to be walked on. And you may or may not end up sharing it with somebody else, but it doesn't belong to anyone. Fucking hell, that one got real philosophical real fast. But I've thought that about many things. Yeah, the whole path walking thing, like a fair few times. Yeah. If anyone was thinking I was ripping them off, or maybe even dare I say it, content stealing, like no, I'm the one who's used to getting copied, right? People thieve my content. It's not the other way around. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. If my method is the one that I'm used to, sort of seeing other people copy, it's because mine's the best. It's arbitrary. It must be the best, but the people are copying it. Or at the very least, it's better than theirs. Startling to see how many people's method that mine is better than. But technically, once they're using my method, or that their method has become mine, so everybody's using mine, then I don't really mind that at all. It's like everybody's gone from being my enemy to being my teammate. So when I win, we all win. That's not the ultimate goal here, but I think it is probably the ultimate side effect of my ultimate goal. Yeah. So it will require money because kids are expensive, but yeah, you can probably guess what the main goal is. Because I don't know. Much as it pains me to have to say it, I've almost finished living out my 20s already, and I kind of been forced by experiences to have to spend them, or should I say, waste them healing, because that healing was just made necessary. But it hasn't even really worked. There's still ways I need to be healed that I can't do myself. Like I can only receive that kind of healing from another. That's still yet to happen. So I'm doing the whole send out the sound thing and then receive the echo, and then yeah, like sonar or like, well, echolocation sort of thing, and then get my bearings and be like, okay, so people know what I'm like now, and once I take stock of who's interested and see how interested I am in them, and then I can be like, yeah, let's scope her out. God damn it, that I mean, my this is gonna be sound way too egotistic here, but I don't really care. My soul's that unique because it's been put through shit that no soul should have to be put through, but I've survived it because I'm the strongest. It's that unique that trying to find a soulmate is it's like, is there anyone out there that is that special? Can they prove it? What do they have to do to prove it? Can they open my eyes to their glory the way I open everybody's to mine? Who has both the ability and the will to step up to the plate? I'm not sure there's any lass that can, but it's not 8 billion because, yeah, the way I've got to be careful with my words here, but the way I'm oriented, I think you could put it, yeah, means that it's not all a society. Yeah, it's just the female members, or adult female. Um, Hell, I'm not even really paying attention to ones on the younger side that are already adults because I don't know the age gap. Yeah, like I said, I'm just as I'm saying this, I'm coming up for 30, so yeah, even ones that have been an adult for a while, if the age gap's big enough, it just I don't know, it just wouldn't make any sense. Because of things that apply to everyone and stuff. Yeah, with like, oh, you're at this age, you must be at that sort of point in your life where you're this sort of person. That applies to literally everybody. Like no exceptions and stuff. Yeah, well, that's what I take into account. So it's not my personal preference. It's just what I know. That the right thing to do is just not let the age gap be too big. And yeah, I definitely can't say too much about it here because it's yeah, it's way too personal. But like, yeah, let me just say I've known of like two people that have been together, or the age gap has been kind of on the large side, and it just mm, one of them got their comeuppance very satisfyingly. I thought I was gonna get destroyed for it, but no, I was surprised to hell really by the outcome of that. Yeah, I thought, oh, well, I'm gonna get it now, but because oh god, I almost said the sentence, but yeah, it's too edgy when I word it that way. But yeah, they got their comeuppance. Just another way I've been forced to suffer too much for entirely too long, and also forced to tolerate it all by a yeah, a very hypocritical law that says I don't know, everything can commit the crime that is making you suffer, but you can't commit the crime that is punishing it for that. Mm. I will protect. I will create. Everybody is safe from what they deserve, which is my wrath. I have to save them from that. Just like in SA2, Shadow finally realised that Maria would rather the humans that wronged her just be forgiven and get spared and stuff, instead of just being allowed to get destroyed. And there should be caused courage, not fear. Because it's being caused fear by anything, brings out the worst in them. So just give them a reason to be happy, and it turns off any reason they may have to be angry. It's reminding me of the Broly movie as well. All he'd ever received was maltreatment and cruelty and stuff, and then yeah, he's like never the same person again. The first time he ever comes across anyone that is nice to him, and that being, of course, the woman that is Chilai. Yeah, something of an angel of mercy for him that just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, yeah, I could use one of them right about now. I've been waiting long enough. Forced to tap into that Virgo spirit of patience. I'm like, what? I know it's from longer than he says in that scene in the film, but yeah, it's like Sirius Black when when he's like, I did my waiting, 12 years of it in Azkaban. Yes, I'll say this now. It's grandiose. the manner as I can muster. My wait may not be over, but yours is. My big launch is imminent. Hath returneth to the warm up for it. This is that warm up. The masses must be entertained, whether I get anything out of it or not. This is not for personal gain, but if my personal goal is allowed to be achieved, I will be incredibly grateful and appreciative. Because I'm just like anyone else, alive and with a heart. Yeah, I'm a very proud person right now because the ego's just inevitably developed out of what I've kept saying this entire stream so far. Everything I've survived, everything that's inadvertently shown off my strength, my endurance and power. Yeah, all of that has just made me think, you know what? What's just a paradigm of something that like proud people do, and it's create something in their own image. So, yeah. So basically, TLDR, fatherhood, here I come. I want something small, cute, innocent, vulnerable. I want that entity to protect. I want something like that. I want something that I can just cherish. And yeah, my responsibility. I suck at being responsible for myself, but I will force myself to get better at that for their sake. I know what needs to be done, and it goes in tandem with what I want. And if I can achieve both, serving the masses the best entertainment y'all ever gonna get, and achieve my ultimate goal, then yes. We've got a mutual victory. And that seems to be the main purpose that I was brought into existence for. So, our lives are short. So, I'll try and make them as enjoyable as possible. I don't know how, but I know I will find a way. I always find a way. So, you can, yeah. You can tolerate how annoyingly short life is using sweetness brought to you by those such as I. Those that enrich your life, and even if they don't serve you entertainment, they serve you things that just help you, really. Yeah, things like guidance and advice. Whatever I can serve. I'm here to help. Remember, I am your protector. I know there's one thing I want to protect the most, and it doesn't even exist yet, but while it still doesn't, I'll settle for protecting everything else. And to do more than just help you as well, just to help you help yourselves. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you shouldn't need my help. Yeah. Because you might not always be able to get it, either because something's blocking you or, I don't know, preventing me from responding or something. Even if that thing's worked into the fibre of my being, like my mental health. Yeah, you want me to respond and I just don't, and you, well, I would predictably take offence to it. As I'm not doing on purpose. I just wish I was good at responding, but I'm just not. That's what I'm worried about with regards to YouTube videos and stuff. The comment section. I don't care what the comments are. It's just that if someone wants me to respond and I just don't, then I'm gonna feel like an arse because they're being genuinely nice and they're asking me a question or something and I just don't answer, and they're just thinking what I would be thinking at that point, which is just, well, fuck you then. They'd have every right to think that at me. They deserve a response, but I just can't really end up giving them one because I struggle with that shit. But I don't want people to just come to know me as the mentally ill guy, because it's not my soul. You know, the identity is the soul, right? And the problem is with my mind. Mind and soul are not the same thing. Souls don't change, minds do. So that's not the mind I was born with. It's contaminated. I'm out to get rid of that contamination, with or without anyone or even everyone else's assistance. I want to beat that thing back the fuck out of my brain. I'm not gonna let anything stop me. It's only a matter of time until I'm just basically the adult version of the person I was when I was born, before all the bad shit started happening to me. Before a certain someone betrayed themselves just as much as they betrayed me and a few others. I want my emotional stability back. I'm worried it might make me do a super boot, cease to be myself. I don't want it to get to that situation where I'm thinking in a like very volatile sort of fashion, just like, oh god, oh, if I make that jump or whatever, or that alteration, it's just that I won't be me anymore. Like, I'm just wondering, is there can a version of me exist that is free of the darkness, and that can also function as an adult, a responsible adult that can take proper care of a child. It's that, yeah, this is the point I want it to get to. It's just reminding me. The horse shit. Figurative. Horse shit. Like, one video I came across on YouTube. Certain things you should keep private. I'm like, nah, if I kept that private, I'd never fucking achieve it. The world needs to know, because it's just the my inner Sherlock is telling me that as long as I've kept that secret and I haven't achieved it, that must mean that it's only going to get achieved if I start sort of um, projecting it and stuff, and then like publicizing it, even putting it on show for the world to see. And once the world knows my intentions, at least some of it can help me realize them, because they deserve to be realized. I just want to create something. It's a very respectable goal to have. Can't do it alone, yeah, obviously. I'm fine with that. The necessary actions will be taken. And, yeah, it's just choosing to create as opposed to choosing to destroy. All life's ever done is try to destroy me and fail, because I just don't really care for getting destroyed. And all I've ever done in return is at least have the intent to create it. Absorb the darkness, reflect the light. Set the right example. That's what being a father is all about, after all. Set the best example possible. Give that to your offspring for them to follow. So, yeah, like I said near the beginning, yeah, it has been a fair bit since the previous streams. There was, some stuff to catch up on. Probably means there's not going to be that much talking in the end, not least to save my voice. But yeah, if any of you can wrap your head around any of the stuff that I just discussed, any of those topics and stuff, yeah, I've found it tends to be a bit much to ask of the typical person anyway, but I know there's at least some of you out there that are not typical, and it's in a very refreshing way. Your fellow intellectuals, great minds think alike. And yeah, you are out there. It's the space version of what something that happens in games, yeah, with like there's the time version of it, yeah, which is like when I come back to a certain game that likes to piss me off, just because of the few times that I know that it doesn't piss me off and it's actually fun and it's actually tolerable. Yeah, just because I know it's not intolerable every time, then yeah, that's enough for me to be able to ignore the times where it just frustrates me and shit and annoys me. Yeah, it allows me to ignore those times and only pay attention to the times where it entertains me. Just something it should do all the time, but then again, perspective. You eat something sweet right after you eat something really savoury, then it just makes the sweet thing taste all the sweeter. Ugh. Okay, so I think that's enough for the general discussion at the beginning. It's the extended version, or a director's cut, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, thanks for bearing with me. It's Yeah, a bit too much for most to handle, but yeah, if I don't contribute something of this caliber, nobody would, and that doesn't bear thinking about. Right. Let me just find my exhaust flame. I mean, fire up Mario Kart. Hmm. Yeah, Frontiers is still in there. I'm just checking it out, but yeah, it's still in there because that was the last thing I played. Still wondering why certain names were decided on for the new forms. Yeah, there's still spoiler territory here, so yeah, you don't want to get spoiled and. But yeah, it's all Supersonic too. Just it's not only lazy, it's just kind of wrong. I think I called it Cyber Supersonic, and then the form he takes after that, where he's like all sort of like this blue grey color, and his eyes are all sort of like concentric circly and stuff. I called that one just Cybersonic. Yeah, because the super is there when it's gold. Yeah, when the color gold factors in, that's why I feel like the word super has to factor in with it. So when the gold color is just not there at all, then yeah, I just took the word super out, so it just it's cybersonic. But when it's like supersonic, but he's sort of got like a partially red aura, and he's got like completely sort of like pale blue eyes. Yeah, that's the one I call cyber supersonic. Because when I do the whole naming convention thing, it actually makes sense. It's reasonable. I mean, I'm not gonna really divulge about what I'm comparing it to because I know a fair few people get pissed off at me, especially members of the FGC. But yeah, when certain nicknames for things have been come up with, and it just makes me think whoever came up with that nickname. It's like, why that? Like, why that word, right? It's like, who fucking thought this was a good idea to call it that? And the name just stuck, so everybody still calls it that. Like 2 or 3 decades later, since because they've been calling it that since the like the arcade days and stuff, like around like Street Fighter Two, when things like that was still like the peak of popularity. And I'm like, seriously, whose idea was it to call it that? But yeah, it's so um, yeah, it's so affixed now because people have been using those terms and like for so long that yeah, it's built up a resilience that would make it very difficult to try and change it to anything else. Even though that anything else is what it deserves changing to, because that anything else makes more sense for a name. That uh, I refuse to engage in the brain dead sort of practice that is attaching certain behaviours to an entire group of people. It's just not fair to do that. I had that discussion at the warehouse when I was working there. the hellish only real job I've ever had before my mental health went down the drain. And I could still work a job like that. Yeah, I remember talking to someone in one of the shifts about it. Yeah, like if you do something, it's not because of this thing about you or that thing about you, this category you fall into or that thing you subscribe to. No, that's not why you did it. You did it because you are yourself. This unique individual. Yeah, it's an action born of your own soul. So like, only you will be held accountable. You can't just shift the blame onto that thing that you are. So many crimes people commit and just try and use that fucking overused tactic of like make it seem like an accident so that they can get away with it and shit. Like push someone on thin ice or something and be like, oh, I didn't push him, he slipped. So when you can see someone is more of a luck type than a skill type, they're probably more trustworthy if committing crimes requires things like skill and whatever, and not only to commit them but to do whatever it takes to sidestep punishment. We need to beat these fuckers at their own game. If that skill is like on the speed end of the spectrum, and then luck is more of the power end, I think something that has both speed and power defeats something that only has speed. So in astrological terms, that would be Earth beats air. Patience is how you deal with something annoying. Preparation is how you deal with something criminal. It's not a matter of if, but when. You know it's going to commit the crime at some point, because an opportunist is a weakling. They always give in to temptation. They think every opportunity is real. They never think anything is bait. So when you set bait out for them, like where you set a trap, stuff, they always walk into it like the idiot they are. You gotta capitalize on that. Capitalize on the foolishness. Weed out the pissants. What? What's it doing now? What? Hey, baby. I'm looking forward to Wave 6, not least because it'll bring Pauline to this game. I was thinking this earlier, yeah. The stupid way that games tend to be nowadays. Yeah, it kind of applies to most, if not all of them. Whenever a new one comes out and then it gets a steady feed of content to the point where it's only its true self, and it's like Sunset Days when it's on the way out because its successor is just about to be released. Like, fucking hell. That true form that was only allowed to be at the end, or near the end of its life, that's how it should have been since the start of its life. I kind of miss when games were like that. You'd have all the content from the get-go. That was it. Oh, no new content till the next game? Well, that's what the next game's for, isn't it? That sort of balances out how you, like, sort of, it's the bad thing that balances out the good thing, which is you having every bit of content from the start. But now there's no temperance going on. Now it's like, you still got a new game, but why? It's like, if the first game can get updated now because the technology has advanced that far, and then the fuck need is there for another game? It's this weird bridge point, yeah, this middle ground where I'm like, or this fence, so it's like, stop sitting on the fence. Come on, can't you see it's hurting your balls? Like, just pick a side and just stand on that side, like in the nice, soft, comfortable grass. It's pretty simple. Yeah, even VR is this awkward fucking halfway point that I have no interest in. Like, do things that don't include VR at all, because they at least know what they want to be. Or you go beyond VR in the way that we haven't reached yet, which is where you're playing games the way they like play them in that one season of Turtles, because I've seen all of them. The anime Turtles, I mean, that started in 2003, that cartoon. That was the one I found the coolest anyway. I know the iconic cartoon series was like in the 80s, but yeah, the anime Turtles, yeah, that's what I nickname it, yeah. Season 6, I think it was, yeah, it was like, it had like a sub-name, if you will, yeah, it was Fast Forward. And it was called that because it was set, like, I think 100 or 200 years in the future of now, yeah. Or in the future of the turn of millennium, anyway. And, yeah, the Turtles themselves, yeah, the bros, are playing what is, in that time, a modern video game, and it's like a simulation sort of thing, yeah. It's like being in the Matrix, basically, yeah. I don't know how they could project holograms and stuff and make them physically interactable. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how they managed that, but I would like to be able to beat down on something, knowing it's in the virtual world it exists in. It's getting destroyed, but I'm not really destroying anything. I would like that a lot. As long as it feels like I'm destroying something, yeah. That catharsis I get. But yeah. My mind is to be tricked into believing that I'm destroying something when I know full well I'm not. Because then nothing actually has to get destroyed. As for there being like a fighting game version of like laser tag and stuff, of like you hitting your opponent, but they're not actually there. It's just like a projection of them from there, wherever they are, like their apartment or something. So yeah, that sort of hologram version of them is getting projected into wherever you are, like your apartment, and you're fighting them and stuff, and then yeah, you've got health bars and everything, and if you land more hits on them, of course, so as long as they don't block them anyway, just like a fighting game right now in this time, 2023. Yeah, if they don't block the hits, then they take the full damage from each hit, and you land more hits on them than they hit on well, then they land on you, their health bar will get reduced to zero first, and they get KO'd, they lose a round. And it might sound a bit, what's the right word? Heretic or something to say it, but at least in some regards, it'd be nice if real life was like that. You couldn't get hurt, injured, or killed, but everybody just had health bars. Because then we could see who the best fighter is without anyone having to take any actual physical damage. One of the most annoying things is knowing you could beat someone in a fight, but like if you punched them hard enough in the face, for example, you like break your own fist or your own arm or something like that. It's just a fucking nuisance. Because that doesn't happen, does it? It can, but tends to not do. In fighting games, yeah, there's no actual damage happening. Like, the characters are hitting each other full force and there's no recoil. So, there's no, like, somebody, say, like Ryu in Street Fighter, like, yeah, like SF6 or something, like, kicked his opponent in the head. He's not going to be there like, my foot. I mean, he probably wouldn't be like that in real life either, because he's kicked things so many times. His foot's probably built up like a resilience to the point where it may as well be made of metal, so he doesn't feel anything. It's like Tigress, and yeah, if I want to reference Kung Fu Panda again, yeah, it's like Tigress's paw. She's done that much training with it, yeah, martial arts training, that yeah, she just no longer feels anything when it gets hit. That's how tough it is. But yeah, it's like I said, it's not just pain, it's that injury, and of course, you want to go all the way extreme, it's the death. So if those things couldn't happen in real life, but the health bars could mean you could, I don't know, at least, well, I'm not sure about the time frames, but yeah, it's starting to just sound like an isekai now, yeah, like just same but different, yeah, so like Pokemon or something, yeah. It's like there's things that they have in that world that are just like this one, and then you've got other things that are completely different, like the animals have like superpowers and shit, and can be put in those devices that are like ball shaped and stuff, yeah. It's an alternate world that's like basically this world, but yeah, people can't get hurt, injured, or killed, but like there's just health bars and everybody, yeah. So if there's ever any beef, then this is just round one, fight, and that's it. You win, and they get incapacitated for a few minutes or maybe even seconds, and it's like that's it. So then it's not a case of you just messing with someone's time by putting them out of commission for a bit. No, it's a case of you only got put out of commission because I won the fight and you lost it. So it's, yeah, it's like a sport sort of thing, yeah, sport or game or fun activity, yeah. It's like, I don't know, the guy gets up and he shakes your hand and he's like, well played, or like GG's sort of thing, yeah. Yeah, you were the better fighter and stuff, and yeah, you must have been because you won. So it's just winning and losing. Yeah, but there's no actual serious consequences or whatever, like pain, injury, and death and all that crap. Sometimes nature and stuff, like, they get it right, and other times I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Couldn't you have come up with a better way for things to work like that? I mean, single-celled organisms that could self-propagate and whatnot, and like multiplying, like bacteria and everything, the first ever life forms on the face of the earth. I'm pretty sure they didn't have gender, and then gender just came into being and stuff, and was particularly prevalent to things like what we are, mammals. And then now I'm thinking, why is there any need for two separate genders? Like, why can't there be one supergender? I'm just thinking maybe we're not there yet. I don't know if evolution will take us in that direction anyway, but just it just goes very annoyingly slowly. Or we can just give it a kick up the arse and be like, hey, hurry up, and just maybe accelerate it with our own practices like technology and surgery and stuff like that. And condition the human condition to being structured a certain way so that eventually it just becomes natural. Like eventually, but we just don't need to be made like that anymore. We just end up being born like that. A superior version of ourselves, or superior to the version we aren't anymore. I want to have a balanced perspective though, because I know there's a reason that people fight against it, and it can't just be the whole courage and familiarity thing. I want people to feel comfortable. Like, I don't want them to only feel so afraid because they feel like they're being plunged into the unknown, being forced to adapt, and yeah, I don't want them to feel like they're being subjected to anything unfair or cruel, just like without them being able to do anything about it. Regardless of who or what plunges them into that forcibly. Yeah. If they don't want to experience something, they shouldn't have to. Regardless of who they are or what it is. Because at the end of the day, they're people. All suffering should be averted. Except, yeah, when you're not allowed to avert it. But that, I'm going to have to admit, is necessary. Just so that, yeah. Because if you were feeling joy all the time, it wouldn't be joy. Like, there needs to be suffering at least some of the time. There only needs to be a tiny bit though. There's no need for it to be an even balance. It doesn't need to be 50-50. Yeah, it can be 99 and 1 stuff. Yeah, and it's still a balance. It's not an absolute unless it's 100 and 0. Some things that certain people just aren't ready for. And, I understand why, but I just think it's morally wrong. It's ethically wrong to sacrifice the few for the advancement of the many. Victory's mine, get fucked. Talk my ass off for fucking way too long, and then I must have said something right. Oh, all of them are good. How do I choose? Dude in brown. The brown outfit. Hairstyle's a bit different, but yeah, it kind of reminded me of someone. Yes! It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. Boo incoming. Oh, maybe it's just multiple reds. Guy gets given the win on a plate. Guess it needs it against me. Everybody needs a helping hand when I'm their opponent. Is only ever gonna win because of items. It's a pity they can't win in any respectable way. It's a meta user. How unforeseen. No class, no soul. To be met with no forgiveness. I'm confused. Like the bot just knew what was going to happen. Yes, I'm calling him a bot. All my enemies are bots in every game I play. Conspiring bots as well, working with each other. Yeah, they're just there like, oh, we are the meta-using bots, oh, we must fend for each other. Fuck everybody else over. Urgh. The more reliant you are on something like the meta in a game, the weaker you are a person in real life. Oh dear. Some things you just can't hide about yourself. Some unequivocal evidence reminds everybody who doesn't deserve involvement. The meta is winning for you. It's not your win. It's always right after I go through the item box. Making me think the exact same thing Overwatch 2 makes me think. Why isn't everybody attacking the cheating fucker more? I think I've recognised the pattern. If there's any sessions of this game that let the first race be a win for me, that's a declaration of intent that it's just about to descend into dick mode. Told you right after the item box. And look, they're getting given stars in second and third. Very fair RNG based bullshit. Wait for it. Oh, it's coming. You know it's coming. That's why I didn't use that coin. I actually meant a red shell when I said, you know, it's coming. I know it was kind of vague. It could have meant anything, like a boo, a red shell, or a blue shell, but yeah, trust me, I meant a red shell. I'm like, well, I've only got a coin, so I can't exactly defend myself from a red shell if one gets thrown at me. But it didn't. So I'm genuinely surprised. Also surprised about how late the blue shell was. But yeah, anyone watching, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're well fed, well watered, in the best of health. Gawking it now. Oh, sure. Green shell thinks it's a red shell. Hmm. Definitely biased, there's no doubt about that. I think I got one of the white Yoshis with a green shell. It's a mix of the time of year and the weather, but it's making it get a bit too dark in here annoyingly early. Yeah, just thinking now, just happy to get back to creating stuff, really, yeah. It's not much, but still purpose. Come on! Calamari dessert. Whoa. Thinks it's a shell again. It's not supposed to home in, but it just manages to anyway. Hey game, you can stop cheating for the inferior nothings that are my opponents now. Sorry, friend. Fuck. Crap! That was all on me, that. My bad, I misjudged the distance. Fucking hell. Hell of a knowledge check. Ugh. Yeah, speaking of which, now I've beaten the final horizon. I remember, I think I already said in a previous stream where I was part way through beating it and I still hadn't beaten it yet when I said it. What? Cocking them all again? But yeah, what I said was something along the lines of, yeah, there's a few things you think to yourself when you're playing through it that, yeah, you think pretty darn regularly, and one of them is, thank fuck I never have to do that again. And some crazy part of my mind is actually considering. Especially now I know all the ins and outs and stuff. I kind of would like to make content of me playing through it. Sort of. Out of my way, pathetic meta-reliance. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Oh yeah, the blue shell turns up too late when somebody else is first. Not when I'm first, though. Yeah, it lets them win. Oh, they're using the meta. They already have an advantage. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna make it even more fucking intolerable for everybody else and just give them another advantage on top of that. I'm just gonna make them lucky. Yeah, I'm gonna spare them the blue shell bullshit. You're supposed to spare the honourable ones, fucker. Somebody decides to be a pissant by engaging in the dishonour that is using the meta every fucking time, which I've had a kind of genius idea about, but I'm not sure how much detail to go into about it, but I think I called it meta lockout. But yeah, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, you don't need to be a genius yourself to work out like the details of it when I tell you its name like that. Yeah, it's like if something's used enough by enough people, it's clearly the meta and should be locked out. And if you want to be able to use it again, you need to meet certain conditions. But it's only locked out for a fixed duration, though, like 24 hours. So basically, you gotta have the class to be able to win with something else. Like, yeah, if you can win on your own merit, fine, yeah, prove it. Win without using the meta. If you can't, then you don't get to be all butthurt and complain about you being unable to use the meta because it got locked out. Not allowed to dodge the blue shell. Show on deck, you bastards. I feel like a bit of Bangkok rush. Bit of Thai green curry. Home course. Nyaha. Hey. Vengeance will be had. Direct hit! Fuck. My house! Ooh! I do love neon! Oh yeah, be having a bit of that ninjutsu action. Because it's a shell of a town. Turtles counting on one. I could sing the entire song, but I don't think this is the time or the place, sadly. It's already slippery enough. What weird just happened then. I don't know if it was lag or not. I was looking at the map and what happened with the orange Yoshi. I think there's an orange Yoshi. Jet. Red flag. It's only a partial pun, is that? Because the national flag's not entirely red. That's the main colour of it anyway. God damn it. It's just me being... Oh, seeing shit incorrectly. Hey! Wow, they shrugged that off like it was nothing. No. Nice try, foolish driver. Oh yes, come on. Nothing shows it is. Aquatic critters abound. Phlegm. Oh, thanks. You only get the double item. Hey, I needed that. Going through it. seconds. What? Double coin? Double coin? Game? No cheating. I still win through all your bullshit anyway. But fucking hell. Double coin? Yeah, somebody's definitely cheating. I don't know what systems they're using to make that bullshit happen, but it takes forever to give me my item, which is already sabotaging me enough. And then double fucking coin. Yeah, sure, right, whatever, game. Like, yeah, I know, you don't want to get played. I don't care, I'm playing you anyway. God. Dude thinks he's Beast Gohan over here. Waiting for somebody else to be hit with endless bullshit. Crap. expect that. Victory is mine once again. Yes, come on, Bangkok Rush. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to do something. Oh, this lack of light. Somebody's name's reminding me of a certain character's taunt. I think it's the neutral taunt. Yeah, they got 3. I think it's that way in SF6 now, yeah. Like, neutral taunt, forward taunt, and back taunt. But yeah, I'm thinking Garou again. The Jenny. She goes, no, no. Oh! Crack the red one in the face this time. That blue showed way too late. And look how far back it was thrown from and all. Well, it was never going to reach me in time. 8 people in the race. That's actually perfect, yeah. Oh yes. Got a California. I think that's, if I'm getting my geography right, that's around where LA is. United States of America. So many votes for that, of all courses. Yeah, it had to go one more, didn't it? Fucking hell, give me my fucking item. Piss take. He's trying to sabotage me again. Oh, I'm doing too well. I have to give at least one person a shot dodge. Little helping hand. They hella need it. Oh yeah. There's the red shell. Yeah. B. Jenny sounds, I don't know, really cute. Like all of her taunts, really, yeah. I've already done an impression of one. I'm not sure if I'm getting them the right way around, but I think her back taunt makes us sound like and her forward taunt is I think the most popular and most abused because just as her sort of put her hands on either side of her face, like very childishly and also very childishly just stick her tongue out at you. It's like a very annoying tease sort of thing. And she sounds like 50. Okay, no, it's to be expected of a Taurian spirit. It's a pirate chick. She's all about the treasure, so you know that probably going to mean either Taurus Sun or Taurus Mars. Where's Sojourn? She'd just be chilling some part of this course. It's go time! Fuck is its problem with all these lightnings? Jet. Yeah. Whoa. I think one of the shy guys just took the hit for me. Do like me some Maple Treeway. The perfect time of year for it, but. I'm just not really a fan of this course. It used to be my least favourite, I'm going to be honest. Not anymore. Too many Kamex. That collision though. Somebody hath incited the rage. don't end until they hit me. Fucking freaks. Good reason to hate this course. It does that to me. Needs punching in the face. What the fuck? Of course they have a super on. Phlegm, 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 phlegm. yes, with regards to that thing I was talking about earlier about how many things we should subject to absolution, turn it from multiple to one. Yes, I know, age, I think, is the only one that we're never really going to be able to affect like that. So yeah, I have taken that into account. Ah. Another one, really? Fucking hell. Yeah, I'm playing Mario Kart the true way. The way it was always meant to be played. You go that fast that you make a lead that immense. And no matter how many times you get blue shelled, you still win. It tried. It tried landing an Excite back again. thinking if there's a blue shell, and I'm like, nah, somebody else is in first. There's not going to be unless there's a lightning. It literally made him drop out. It's like, oh, you won't have the skill to drop out on your own, so I'll handle the whole dropping out thing for you. Bam! Shot dodge! There was a better thing I could have done there, I just didn't do it. Oh yeah! Now we'll get to Singapore. The channel on YouTube now features at least a couple of dudes. I'm sure there's a team behind them and stuff that you never get to see because, yeah, of course they're always off camera, but they're the quote-unquote real adults, directors and shit. They're like, I don't know, oh, you must behave in this way because that reason and stuff. And then the ones you see on the camera are just the entertainers, yeah. The reason you keep coming back, but yeah. Beloved members of the FGC. And pretty sure they're Singapore based. Oh, I've been in the States, I think, from time to time. Somewhat recently. Why has it got to be 200? This gonna hurt my ass. No! Oh. Got him, apparently. How many people got shot dodges? Alright, I'm just faster. Speed! And there it is. Brought past 15,000. Get in. Just check. I would like to continue, but gotta stop at some point. I was on a roll there, so it's kind of sad to have to back out, but yeah. I was gonna end around now anyway, because me grub takes about an hour to make. Yep, the meal I have planned. Right now, as I'm saying this, it's between 6 and 7 p.m. UK time, so I was planning to have it ready for 7, so I'm already past it a bit. It feels fucking weird, this diurnal fucking sleep pattern. I'm already kind of tired as fuck as it is. As you can tell from my voice, but because I'm, I don't know, like I said earlier, the strongest, I can still just win over and over again. At least, well, I'll admit, at least as long as I'm not faced at one or more meta abusing of pathetic, insecure brats. Feel like they have to compensate for something. Mainly lack of class. So yeah, I'm like, hey brat, if you're using the meta, and I'm not, and I still beat you, fucking hell. This goes to show you the difference in our strength. Yeah. Sword maketh not man. So yeah. I'm kind of tired because of how long I've been awake, but I'm only being forced to do this whole the timing of everything and stuff, the routine, just because of that stupid thing that needs fixing. It's just been an ongoing issue for more than a month and a half. It's fucking stupid. I kind of want compensation for it. I know they don't intend to have that effect on me, but they're still having it on me. They're forcing me to have to be bad for my own health, like physical and mental. Just to try and get them to do the job that they should be getting themselves to do. Worthless freaks. Useless too. Sad, really. They're just supposed to be of service, and I'm like, I have to kick them into gear and stuff. Sadly not allowed to beat competence into them. But that's what they deserve. But then again, they can pay in some other way than being damaged. That's the point of the whole compensation thing. A peaceful way to get punished for crimes you've inadvertently or otherwise committed. So, yeah, I think I'm going to call it at that. It was an alright length of stream. Hope you all had fun. I know I did. Sorry the introduction thing went on for a bit long, but it had been a while, so catch up was necessary, and I felt like going that far with the discussion, because, yeah, certain things I wanted to get off my chest. That's kind of a pun in some very obtuse way. I could go into detail as to how it's a pun, but yeah, remember what I said about the whole all of us being one super gender thing. Yeah. It's pretty simple to work out how that could look in the end if it actually was exacted. Let's just say, as gender stands in terms of nature, yeah, there's something that males are only ever on the giving end of, and females are only ever on the receiving end of. Now, I'm just proposing, just, yeah, everybody having the ability to both give and receive. Because, well, two things are better than one. Just two abilities, two powers. Yeah. You owe it to ourselves. Some people are trying to do some stuff like that, but it kind of feels like not as much of a favour as they could do for themselves. They're transitioning from one to the other, but they still end up with only one. Where on the other side of the transition, yeah, on the after side, yeah, there's still only one thing. They've just gone from one to the other one, as opposed to what I'm thinking of, which is from either one of them to both of them. Only the hermaphrodite knows the truth. On that note, I think I'm gonna end. Thanks for watching. Take care, dudes.